Yeah, Sverige does look like a Baroque yoga instructor, and I can also guarantee you the only reason he's wearing this headband is because his toupee, his like hair system, the glue is like falling off, and he can't find. He either doesn't have the money or he can't find anywhere to like re-glue his hair system. So he has to put this like hairband over it so people can't see that his hair system is fucked up.
I'm going to review a video by Nimai Delgado. It's called The Truth About
Thanks for the donation, Majin Buu.
Being Vegan.
Vegans are often stereotyped as weak, skinny hippies who love to shove their views down other people's throats. To be fair, I am a bit of a hippie, and as somebody who's never eaten meat and vegan for the last 8 years, I can say that the skinny part isn't true. At least not for me. Many people...
You can just see Sverige is seething with jealousy. He gets really jealous whenever he sees people that are better looking than him. So if somebody's like taller, more muscular, just better looking in general, he'll try to personally attack them and say like, oh, they're a narcissist, even though he's a fucking narcissist. What they're doing is unhealthy, or they're stupid. Exercise is bad for you. Check out.
Right off the bat, I gotta say that he doesn't look like a typical vegan whatsoever, and supposedly he was a vegetarian since birth. Do I believe that? No. Maybe he was a pescatarian. A lot of people don't see fish as meat for whatever.
Yeah, so Sverige has to cope because so many people are bigger and stronger than him and they don't eat meat. His only excuse is, oh, well, they do eat meat. Like, again, this is his narcissistic reasoning. He gets jealous of everybody, and because he's a weak little bitch, if he sees people who are vegan and stronger than him, he has to cope and say, oh, but they're not actually vegan.
Reason, I don't know why, because it comes from the water. Meat from the water is not meat, I guess. It's very clear that he has good genetics. Maybe he grew up on rock.
Oh yeah, if Destiny saw this, he'd just say, yeah, oh, it's just one school. Yeah, it's not a sign of a greater systemic problem.
Raw dairy, I could still somewhat believe that, but that's why we don't have cases of vegans since birth. There's never been and never will be a case.
Conflicting opinions about whether or not a vegan diet is actually healthy, or is the lack of quality protein and nutrients found in animal products actually detrimental to your health. So many people think...
Wait, did he just say that there's a lack of nutrients in animal products? Did I understand it correctly?
Yeah, so there's not much nutrition in skeletal muscle tissue, which is what most people eat, and it's always, all animal products are completely devoid of fiber and antioxidants. So compounds that are beneficial for digestion, they prevent heart disease, diabetes, cancer, those sorts of things. Meat is, or any animal products, universally deficient in those things.
Because plants don't have over 15 nutrients, whereas meat has every nutrient.
Yeah, so why am I bigger and stronger than you, Sverige? Why do I still have all my hair and I don't have to wear a wig? I seem to be getting plenty of nutrition, don't I?
Way more than in plants. Is this guy joking? It really seems like he's a poster child for veganism because he has good genetics. He's relatively good looking, I suppose. And if you believe that you're going to look like this...
Relatively good looking, I suppose. Yeah, Sverige is telling Nimai Delgado that.
After 8 years of veganism, then you're incredibly wrong.
You need to eat meat in order to survive. But as somebody who's never eaten meat before in their life, one thing I know for sure is that I'm still alive. I mean, am I alive?
Yeah, but you were not a vegan since birth. You were supposedly a vegetarian, which means that you got all of the animal nutrients, which you wouldn't get on a vegan diet. Lower amounts than you would get in meat, but still.
Okay, so again, please explain to me why he's taller, bigger, and stronger than you. Some stupid cope shit. Oh, but he does eat meat, and he's on steroids, and he wouldn't be that big without steroids. Yeah, okay. And I'm smarter than him. I know exercise is bad, so I don't do exercise because I know I'll die sooner.
Anyway. And as for whether or not you can build muscle or be a successful bodybuilder, you definitely can. However, if you're somebody who is curious about trying veganism, then I think it's important to know about some of the biggest misconceptions about it. The first of which...
Most people say that he's on drugs. I don't disagree for sure. I have no idea what...
I think in all likelihood, Nimai isn't a lifetime natty. He definitely looks smaller than he used to be. So... Like, again, chances are it's just because he's not on as much gear. It could just be because he's not doing competitive bodybuilding anymore and he's not training like he used to.
Whatever, I don't really care. But, again, he doesn't look like a typical vegan who goes to the gym whatsoever.
He doesn't look like the typical person who goes to the gym. Like, I don't know why the fuck he's even comparing him to vegans. Nimai doesn't look like the typical person to even go to a gym. Most people who go to the gym are either out of shape or they just don't look that impressive. They might look like they work out a bit, but like most people who go to the gym don't look jacked like this. So why the fuck is he even comparing him to other vegans? Like, yeah, vegans, like most people, aren't fucking IFBB pro bodybuilders.
Actually, none of them look like him.
Is that there is a big difference between what people think veganism is versus...
Like, by the way, I'm bigger than Nimai. I think John Venus is also bigger than Nimai. Like, he's a bit shorter, so he looks wider and everything, but he's not gigantic. There's a few vegan lifters who, at least right now, are bigger than Nimai. Like maybe when he was competing. Fuck. Nimai Delgado. Let me see if I can find the video of when he was competing. It was pretty crazy how fucking jacked he was. Yeah, like this was him, like peak while he was competing. You can see a pretty big difference. So, yeah, he looks like he's got at least like an extra 10, 15 pounds muscle here. Like maybe it's the lighting and he was just leaner or something, but I don't know. He looks a lot fucking bigger here. Like on top of that too, his face looks like more bloated, but he's leaner. So that suggests to me that he was likely taking gear here. So yeah, I don't know. He says he's a lifetime natty. Who the fuck knows, but either way, I don't know why, like, I don't know why Sverige is comparing him to your average vegan. Like, he's an IFBB pro bodybuilder. Why wouldn't he compare him to other IFBB pros who eat meat? Like, that's what the comparison should be.
This is what it actually is. So most people have a very limited understanding of what veganism actually is. By definition, it's the practice of not eating any animals or using their byproducts to the best of one's ability. And unfortunately, like any ism, it's the people in the...
That is not the definition of veganism. Veganism is the ideology and lifestyle practice to grant animals the same rights as human beings.
Group that are most extreme that end up becoming the misrepresentation of that entire group. But the truth is, you might have more in commons with vegans than you might think. So vegans care about...
More in commons? It's interesting that he said that vegans try to avoid animal products as much as possible, which means that maybe he's like unnatural vegan, a freegan, if there's leftover food, or they just...
Well, yeah, exactly. So, I don't necessarily in a vacuum have a problem with somebody, I don't know, eating roadkill. So it's kind of a moot point, but when you say things like as much as possible, yeah, you can end up in stupid situations where you have somebody like Sverge pointing out like, oh, so there are circumstances where it's okay to like kill and eat an animal. It's stupid. So again, veganism is the ideology and lifestyle practice where you grant animals the same rights as human beings. It's not this idea of reducing animal product intake as much as possible.
Just think of some reason to eat animal products, then it's okay to eat it. Maybe he's really that kind of a vegan. That I could believe for sure.
Their health, their loved ones, animals, and the environment.
So again, that's just a cope because he can't handle somebody being bigger and stronger than him.
They live in.
Who's vegan.
They strive to become a better version of themselves and simultaneously help make the world a better place. So they deeply feel empathy whenever they witness oppression,
That's a
suffering,
really weird machine.
and injustices.
Name one way that you or any vegan makes the world a better place. Just one way. I'm waiting.
Let's see. Less murder. Oh, right. Sverge thinks murder's a good thing.
Their empathy and compassion extends beyond humans and includes animals and the environment.
It extends beyond humans, yet I've never seen a vegan being compassionate towards humans. Never. In any video, article, or anything at all, vegans always hate on humans who eat their natural food, which is meat. I've never seen anybody being compassionate towards vegans who were malnourished. Over 90% of the vegans on YouTube quit in the last 5 years. I've never seen anybody being
No. Where is he getting these numbers from?
compassionate towards their health issues.
And as an actionable way to try to reduce the amount of suffering and damage in the world, they simply choose not to eat animals or support industries that perpetuate the suffering, exploitation, and damage of the environment. Okay, look, I don't want to sit here and make a blanket statement that I think everybody should be vegan. I think there are many people...
What is this horse shit? The fuck is Nimai doing? Everybody should be vegan. What the fuck? This is basically like saying, yeah, not everybody should abide by universal human rights principles.
The world that don't have the means, the accessibility, or the information. But for those of us that do have these luxuries, we also have the luxury.
So, like, again, is he in favor of things like tribal genocide? Because, oh, you know, like some primitive cultures that still exist, they don't have the luxury of, you know, like, I don't know, accessibility to resources or, you know, modern knowledge on, you know, rights and philosophy and shit. So, yeah, it's fine if they commit like tribal genocide or rape or something. Oh my God, that is so fucking stupid.
Of choice. Vegans are simply trying to bring awareness to the fact that if you...
It's kind of nice that he says that not everybody should be vegan. He's not as radical as most of them. But of course, nobody should be seeing as plants don't have over 50 nutrients. A good example that I gave many years ago was based on a study about vitamin A. Over 50% of people in the study couldn't convert beta-carotene to vitamin A.
Yeah, so Sverge doesn't know what he's talking about, and I'm pretty sure he's deliberately lying. So he's talking about gene polymorphisms that slow down the conversion of beta-carotene into vitamin A. There is no polymorphism where somebody cannot convert beta-carotene into vitamin A. And even if you have one of the worst polymorphisms for beta-carotene conversion rate, it actually doesn't predict vitamin A deficiency. So if you consume beta-carotene, like you eat a bunch of carrots, the conversion to of beta-carotene to vitamin A might be slower, but you'll still convert the same amount. So what ends up happening is there's no predictability with these polymorphisms in vitamin A deficiency. It's just that if you are deficient, it will take you longer to, you know, get over that deficiency if you only consume beta-carotene. But it actually doesn't predict deficiency. So what he's saying is just complete bullshit.
Vitamin A is not found in plants at all, which means that on a vegan diet, these people would be deficient in vitamin A.
Have the access, the means, and the information, then you do have a choice. And every choice that we make and every dollar that we spend is a vote for the kind of world that we want to live in. Vegans simply want to choose a world.
No, that's the thing. You do not have a choice genetically. A lot of people simply can't convert beta-carotene to vitamin A. There's
That is totally false.
nothing they can do about it. That's their bodies.
Yeah, so that's totally false. And even if that is the case, then just take vitamin A palmitate.
Chooses compassion over violence, harmony over destruction, and peace over suffering. And if you feel like that's the kind of world that you want to live in, then you might have more.
That also doesn't make any sense because plant farming kills way more animals than any factory farms on Earth.
Again, no. That's totally false.
All of them combined, plant farming statistically kills more animals. That's why
That is not true.
you can't say that you want to reduce the suffering. Then you would stop all monocropping, for example.
Common with vegans than you think. So the next biggest concern is whether or not veganism is sustainable. And as I mentioned before, I was born and raised vegetarian. I've never eaten meat. Vegan the last 8 years. And if I can do it, you can probably do it too. I am not an anomaly. There are thousands of examples of people who are thriving on a vegan diet, and even professional athletes too. And if you don't believe me, check out a movie called The Game Changers. You might even see a familiar face. Now, I could sit here and try to reference a bunch of scientific papers to prove to you that you can thrive on a vegan.
He is absolutely an anomaly if he actually is a vegan. And most of the people from Game Changers are not vegan anymore.
That's not true. Only Tim Sheath backed out.
Actually.
Diet. But let's be honest, there are plenty of scientists who are much more capable of doing that than me, and I would probably only leave you feeling more confused because as soon as you open up Instagram, you're going to see other people quoting studies that say otherwise. All right, so how do you know whether or not something is possible or not, or what to believe? Well, you're going to have to try it for yourself. You simply don't know what you don't know until you try something, and don't just blindly believe what people say online and adopt it as truth. If you have an open mind,
He really should not have said that. He's validating this idea that, oh, well, if you follow this diet and you feel fine, then, you know, you'll be fine. But the inverse would also be true. If you follow the diet and you don't feel fine, well, then that confirms that a vegan diet isn't right for you. So what he should have said is just confirm that there is absolutely no evidence that, you know, certain people can't follow a vegan diet. This is clearly healthy for everybody. And there's a way to plan a vegan diet or plant-based diet to where you can thrive. There's no excuse not to be vegan. So he's just validating the idea that if you try it and then you fail, then, oh, clearly, you know, veganism isn't for you.
and are willing to try something new, you might just access higher levels of mental, physical, and even spiritual well-being that you didn't know were possible because you've been so acclimated to your everyday experience. The key, like anything, is to do it properly. And I'm sure you've heard, seen, or known somebody
This video is
who's
funny.
at one point and then stopped because they said it either wasn't feeling well or that it wasn't providing enough nutrition to facilitate their fitness goals. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not the vegan diet that didn't work. It was their vegan diet that didn't work, or their conviction. And I'll address the biggest mistakes that people make when they attempt to go vegan in my next video. But for now, let me talk about...
Plants in general don't have, as I said, 15 nutrients. There's no way to do veganism right, seeing as it will always cause malnutrition. What is he exactly talking about? Maybe he's really a vegan. Let's just say that he is. Then he's probably on a million supplements. Some of them probably work somewhat biochemically, and that's why he's surviving. But really, it's just good genetics. That's what his body is based on.
The amount of cope, like, how many fucking supplements is Frank Tufano taking? And, like, look at the Liver King and shit. Liver King, carnivore diet, not only takes a ton of supplements that he also sells and makes money off of, but he's also on a ton of fucking steroids. Like, same with all these other fucking morons like Sean Baker and shit. I don't think Sean Baker's natural, at least not anymore. And he's also selling fucking supplements. All these fucking carnitards are selling supplements. And then here's Sverges, oh, they're taking supplements, they can't get the nutrients. Well, even the people on the carnivore diet, they're all taking fucking supplements, and they're all selling supplements too if they're making money off this bullshit online.
It's just his genes.
about the biggest misconception of all. Look, I get it. Salads suck, and I don't like eating them either. I like eating pizza, tacos, burritos, bowl.
He admits that he doesn't like salads. Yes, nobody likes salads because you're eating man-made plants that taste horrible, usually bitter. You have to cover the...
Salad tastes nice. I don't know why... Why is there this idea that salads aren't good? If you go to any restaurant, you're always offered a salad as an appetizer. Like, if people in general didn't like salads, like, why would that be such a popular fucking, like, dish and appetizer?
them up with lots of dressings full of sugar and whatnot. Yeah, thanks for admitting it.
Sushi, just like everybody else.
Sushi is made from raw fish, but whatever.
Except the vegan version of it. And the truth is, you don't...
Yeah, but if you crave sushi, how can you even crave sushi? It doesn't even make any sense. If you eat sushi, you probably ate raw fish at some point. I don't believe that this...
No. So... it kind of depends on what you mean by sushi. Like, there's sashimi, that's just raw fish. But there's sushi rolls. And again, the biggest component of a sushi roll is the fucking rice and seaweed. So, no.
This guy never ate meat. He probably ate sushi, and now he maybe eats vegan sushi now and then.
Have to only eat salads. There is so many vegan options these days that are not only nutritious, but also really tasty. In fact, I actually have a few videos.
Yeah, there's so many vegan options these days, but what did you eat before that? You never tried any of the real options of those foods? That's what you're trying to tell us.
Explaining exactly how I eat. Right here. Many people struggle with the idea that they have to give up their favorite foods or even aspects of their culture when they go vegan. But as somebody who's traveled all over the world, I can honestly say that I have yet to find a place that I have struggled to be vegan. In fact, some parts of the world have even more vegan options than we do here. And you might actually be surprised to find out that there are many more vegan options around you that you were just unaware of because you weren't looking for them. You can try to use the app Happy Cow, and it will actually tell you what vegan restaurants or vegan items on menus are nearby.
Happy Cow is a good website to find vegan events and go crash them.
In regards to it being more expensive, it really just depends on the person and the kind of lifestyle that you live. If you're going out and eating at restaurants every single day and buying expensive specialty items, then of course, yeah, it's going to be expensive. But if you prepare your food at home and focus on less processed foods, it can actually be way more affordable than a traditional diet. In fact, an Oxford study actually took a look at this and determined that a vegan diet was the most affordable diet next to a vegetarian diet. There are a ton of other...
That's not in any way a good thing. That means that the government subsidizes this diet, especially grains and all of the slave food. It's food that peasants only ever ate.
Yeah, the government subsidizes grain because that grain is fed to animal products that you eat, moron. That's why, things like chicken, steak, and shit, like red meat, are so cheap. It's because the food that the animals eat are subsidized.
In history, and now vegans eat it because they were brainwashed to eat peasant food.
Misconceptions that I could talk about, but I don't want you to think that I'm trying to convince you to do something that you don't want to do. I'm just simply trying to bring awareness to the fact that if you want to be vegan, and if you are curious about it, and it feels like something that's aligned with your morals and the way that you want to live your life, then you absolutely can thrive on a vegan diet.
As I said, I feel like this guy is sort of like a poster child of veganism, as in you see him and you believe.
Dude, just look at, again, I can't get over it. Sfarage will use arguments like, oh, our teeth are designed for ripping through flesh. Like these corn niblets are, designed by evolution for fucking, ripping through flesh. I think this guy has fucking trouble, actually eating food. Anything that's hard or tougher to chew, so raw vegetables or something, he probably has tooth decay and shit, and it's hard for him to eat anything that's crunchy or harder. So he always eats softer food. So, meat that's not very tough, that's soft, that you can bite into easily. He also ate a lot of that high meat. So literally meat that's being turned into goop from rotting for so long. So it's just full clown mode when these people talk about Like, meat is our natural diet. Like, just look at our teeth. Yeah, your teeth are fucking corn niblets. Gigliardo.
And you believe that this is what you're gonna look like if you're vegan for long enough, as if your health is going to get better and better, as if you're going to gain muscle in the gym, you will have good skin from what we can see, good hair. All of it is genetic, of course, but it's very hard for people to understand this. Nowadays, when we look at a human being, we judge them over 90% by their genetics. We don't really think about what impact diet has on their looks. We just see their genetic makeup. And I can understand why people fall for veganism when they see this guy's channel or others who already quit. And people kind of ignore this, that over 90% of vegan YouTubers who were popular have quit. A lot of them deleted
No.
their channels, or the videos at least, or they made videos of why they are no longer vegan. But
Like, you have some dumbass raw channels like Raw Vanna, Raw Alignment, but no.
the vegans simply attacked them, and they just kind of bury this. Why would you quit veganism if it was healthy, if you felt good? If you were on a diet which is natural for human beings, which is the only diet that you can feel good on, then you would never quit it because you would feel so good. You would make vegan videos for 20, 30 years, all of your life. Your children would be vegan. It would be amazing. Veganism would have taken over the whole earth. Everybody would go vegan because it would feel so amazing. But what we saw is that most people quit veganism. Stop making nonsense videos like this, talking about your own experience, and talk about...
By the way, how many fucking people have made videos about quitting the carnivore diet? Like, you can just see an endless series of videos about people quitting carnivore, and then Sphere just saying, oh yeah, this is the best diet. Like, the hypocrisy. Spherage is a dum-dum. Alright, let's watch